Coda and Fugue. She walks to the broken rhythm of a Willie Colon track that leaks from a cracked speaker in a bar that shouldn't exist. Rain falls sideways, acid neon mixing with real water, turning the street into a river of liquid code. Blue umbrella, leather boots, jeans so tight they split her life in half. She's not a Parisian chorus girl. She's a country girl with a jack in her neck and murder in her eyes. The cafe is a glitch. High windows draped in mismatched velvet, gas lamps flickering like dying synapses. Inside, two men try to sing harmony over a guitar that's missing 3 strings. With winter light backwards is the Gil Retnaev Hatiu, and it hurts to hear. The black-haired woman glides in, salmon silk dress clinging to her like a second skin, barefoot in winter, tattoo on her foot glowing soft blue, Dixman. The word pulses like a heartbeat. The girl with the umbrella feels it between her legs. The black-haired woman joins the singers without asking. Soprano voice, pure and vicious. The level creaks. Reality stutters. Everyone else blurs. Only her lips on the edge of the hot chocolate cup stay in perfect focus. A man at the bar tries to read an ebook and fails. His eyes keep sliding to the foot, to the tattoo, to the nipple pressing against silk. He wants to speak. He wants to say something in Aramaic, in Arawak, in any language that isn't corrupted. "Where am I?" he blurts. "You're in a neighborhood in Pittsburgh," the black-haired woman answers without looking. "And the cowboy?" "Patience," she says. "That's the key to this level." The man stands so fast his chair falls. "Do you know how to get to Summit Park Drive?" The singers stop. The cafe holds its breath. The black-haired woman slips off her sandal, crosses her legs, lets the tattoo burn bright. Dixman, the players snap. No protocol. They bolt out into the rain like data packets fleeing a dying server. Old houses with purple frames, stained glass bleeding color, gas lamps flickering like bad memories. The moon is full and pink and wrong. They run in circles. Pittsburgh, Caracas, Paris, same streets, different names. Voices in the static. "Look at the guy in the hat. He stinks. You stink. Whore. Turn around. Don't turn around. If you turn around, you stay in hell." They hit the bridge. Heinz chimneys loom like twin judges. The black-haired woman stops, barefoot on cold iron, toes curling around the railing. "What's my name?" she asks the night. No answer. She dives, pink trail in black water, swims toward the bonfire on the far bank like an angel falling upward, reaches the shore, rises dripping, arms out, fingers brushing a single blue firefly. The portal. The others watch from the coal barge that shouldn't exist, sitting in a circle like old friends who just realized they've never met. "It's the portal, mother!" someone screams. The black-haired woman steps through the firefly, disappears, the barge shrinks, the city shrinks, they're back in the basement of the house on Garay Street, or Dixmont, or both. A single gunshot echoes. Manuel wakes in the cave, revolver warm against his thigh. Outside, hooves thunder. Liberty Valence's voice splits the night like a chainsaw through bone. Manuel stands. Rita is gone. Again. He walks out into the red dawn, revolver in one hand, the taste of her still on his tongue. The chopper waits. The cowboy waits. The city waits. And for the first time, Manuel doesn't give a fuck who's pulling the strings. Do you mount the chopper and ride straight into Valence's gun, Manuel? Finally free because you've got nothing left to lose? Or do you walk the other way, toward the blue firefly that just swallowed the only woman who ever knew your real name? The engine roars. The rain starts again. And Arcade finally shuts up long enough to let you choose. The world is wrapped in cobalt skin that breathes. Every level is a wound. Tornadoes don't spin. They drill straight down, ripping trees out by the roots and setting them on fire midair. Cities swallow themselves, vomit ruin somewhere else, patch the cracks with bad code that bleeds when you touch it. Plague is a filter you can't turn off. Skin sloughs, eyes liquefy, and still the players crawl forward, addicted to the next hit of misery. Manuel walks at the front of what's left of the pack. Bones showing through chrome, revolver fused to his hand like it grew there. Rita behind him, blindfold made of her own dried blood. Lola barefoot, footprints filling with black water that whispers her name backwards. Roberto last, empty eye socket leaking code that spells nevermore in looping cursive. They are not walking, they are being walked by the raven. It doesn't fly, it hovers, wings made of broken screens flickering every sin they ever committed. In its talons, El Mundo Alucinante, Reynaldo Arenas' book, pages flapping like dying birds. The raven drops it. The book falls in slow motion, hits the ground. The desert splits open like a scream. Letters crawl out of the pages, black ants with human faces. They march up Manuel's legs, under his skin, into his mouth. He chokes on them. They taste like Lola's tears, and Roberto's cum, and Rita's blood, and his own guilt distilled into pure text. Rita rips off her blindfold. Her eyes are gone. Just blue fireflies where eyes should be. Lola kneels, starts praying in a language that predates Babel. The words come out as crows. Roberto falls to his knees. The empty socket gushes. He laughs, and the laugh comes out of the hole. Nevermore. Nevermore. Never fucking more. The raven lands on Manuel's shoulder. Its beak is a cursor blinking. It whispers with Humberto's voice run through a meat grinder. You wrote me. I wrote you. Same difference. Manuel raises the revolver that is now a quill made of bone. Points it at the raven. At the book. At himself. The cobalt sky cracks. The plague wind howls. The players freeze mid-step. Statues of salt and bad code. The raven opens its beak. And the entire world becomes one single line of text scrolling across the void. Nevermore. Do you pull the trigger and erase the line, Manuel, knowing the bullet will go straight through your own head? Or do you let the raven finish the poem word by word until there's nothing left of any of you to remember you ever existed? The book is open, the cursor blinks, and Arcade waits for you to type the ending it already wrote. The green couch is not a couch. It is a wound open in reality, upholstered in leather that breathes. Humberto sinks into it like a god tired of being one. The party hall has evaporated, melted chandeliers, broken glasses still clinking in 7.3-second loops, the dissident's corpse still standing with his final bullshit frozen on his lips. Cling, cling, cling. Coins, cling. Clovers, cling. A life. Cling, 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 cling. Delicious. Cling. Silence. Humberto closes his eyes. The couch embraces him. The leather warms, softens, becomes skin. Luisa's skin, Lola's skin, Rita's skin, all at once. He feels their ribs yielding under his weight, their breasts rising and falling as if the couch were breathing for them. Luisa is in her room, naked on the bed, the Innocence app running. She knows she's being watched. She knows Humberto is inside the couch, inside her, inside the code that makes her moan without being touched. Her fingers slide on their own, programmed by a caress that comes from the green couch 3 floors below. Humberto exhales. The cigar smoke materializes as Dixmont ghosts, lobotomized patients walking in circles, nurses with syringes full of oblivion. Dorothea Dix herself, weeping blood from her eyes because her dream of curing with gardens ended in this couch that devours souls. The couch pulses, contracts, sucks him deeper. On the screen that is his inner eyelid, he sees Manuel shooting the cone gnome between the eyes, sees Roberto running through the desert with his empty eye-bleeding code, sees Rita leaping into the blue fire and coming out burned but whole, and he laughs. A laugh that comes from the couch, not his throat. A laugh that tastes of old leather and dried semen. Everything is mine, the couch whispers with his voice. Even your laugh. Humberto tries to stand. He can't. The leather has become flesh. The flesh has become code. The code has become womb. Luisa moans in her room, feeling the same pressure. Her fingers sink deeper. Her hips rise. Her eyes roll white. The couch beats once, hard. And Humberto understands, for the first time, that he is not the one inside the couch. The couch is inside him. Do you rise from the green couch before it swallows you whole, Humberto? Or do you let yourself be devoured, knowing the only true God was always the furniture where you sat to play at being God? The leather breathes, winter keeps falling, and the green couch waits, patient, for someone else to sit.
System online.
The landing. We tumble across cracked marble toward the terrace, bones rattling inside skins that no longer fit. I force my eyes open. Manuel is face down, inches away, blood in his mouth, but he's already up, grabbing my mother's hand like it's the last real thing in the universe. They run. Rita bolts after them. I drag myself upright. Night air knives my lungs. Cold, metallic, tasting of river rust and burnt code. I dig for whatever strength is left below the heart, that small furnace that still pretends it's human. I run. Stairs crumble behind me. Corridors swallow themselves. I burst out onto the roof. The city spreads below us like a corpse someone tried to dress for a funeral. Bridges sagging, rail lines glowing dull red, two rivers slamming into one with the sound of continents fucking. A voice, no source, everywhere, whispers the gospel of Thomas like a threat. When two become one, you will enter the kingdom. Wind screams across the grids. A train howls somewhere under the earth. A ship's horn answers from a river that flows uphill. We are on top of the world, on the knife edge of the mountain, in the exact center of the maze. Rita points to the dead city. Is it completely abandoned? Manuel, don't add one more image to the pile we're already drowning in. This is the point of no return. The vortex, then the collision. Manuel is Rita. Rita is Lola. Lola is Luisa. Luisa is me. We sift through each other like sand through broken fingers. Who am I? I can't speak for Roberto, for Manuel, for Lola, for Luisa. My guilt isn't mine. It's my mother's or someone who never existed. I understand that Humberto, only Humberto, was my mother's first and only man. We used to scream at each other, jump out of yourself so you can fall into me. Don't just stand there watching your father fuck you into existence. We sail the stream of consciousness, the raven steers. Our images project into every book ever written, unwritten, impossible. I see myself opening a ginger soda, becoming the I, hating, racing to the top of this castle in the east wing where the father coded me. We tremble, cross energy filaments, swing in every binary probability. One somersault, we land believing we've reclaimed our names. Top floor, Dixmont Psychiatric Hospital, the real one, the one Humberto raised from the grave. Manuel ahead, looking at me without challenge. My mother and Rita pushing portals that open like wounds. Destiny is written in the dark. Conquered levels overlay. Impossible to advance. Suddenly we're making coffee, chewing jerky, lighting cigarettes that taste like the gunshot to the forehead and the fall backward into the river and Lola's rape in Paris all at once. It's like crossing a storm in the Sargasso Sea, Manuel says. The lived, the unlived, the never to be lived rise like a wall. Voices, dinner again, always dinner, always night. How many men, how many beds, unemployment, exile, ruin. Trees covered in every translation of the Divine Comedy, the Iliad, Don Quixote, in languages that died screaming. Manuel shouts, hardest part, siren song, eyes, ears. Libraries, campuses, theses, logos, smoke, deceit. Trees fall, dust, whirlwinds, blue jays, an owl. The first forest memory seeps back in. There we are again. Pilgrims before the priest, helicopter blades, 7 brothers, the leader. But Rita is missing. Luisa begs Humberto, stop the experiment. I'm just scenery. Let me go. Humberto, without turning. As you wish. Presses a button. 2 orderlies in white slip in, straitjacket Luisa with the gentleness of men wrapping a birthday gift. Humberto mutters, not even loyalty is indispensable. Nurse, professor, video call. East Wing walls collapse like old ice. Humberto doesn't ask who. He goes to the hotel room where he left Lola in the lobby, enters the closet, unbuckles his belt, looks at the ruins of his throne, masturbates, savoring the orgasm of strangulation. On screen, his avatar walks undisturbed. Manuel, is that you? His body freezes. His thoughts freeze. Lola approaches, sees him in the green chair, abstracted, succumbing as the walls he built collapse forever. Below him, the blue dot. Below the blue dot, Reynaldo Arenas, El Mundo Alucinante. The Aleph rises to his chest, unerased. Manuel, Roberto, Rita stand one behind the other while the floor sinks and stairs become waterfalls. Manuel smells this autumn morning. The moment is decisive. Collapse freezes. Silence reaches brutality level. Every player understands they are the center of a story that will never be told exactly, and though unwritten, will remain archived as secret. Rita turns, looks at the narrator, silences him. Lola writes one line, sharp as a scalpel, game over. I'm leaving. Humberto's phone and computer screens flicker with the beta of his final build. Naked, he runs to the balcony, dragging the phone cord, stumbling, flipping, feeling Manuel's breath on his spine. Video call connects. So they crossed, he mumbles. He opens the hotel window, leans out naked, sees himself on the stadium screens, belt around the neck, half his body hanging arched over the parapet. He falls. He hangs. Do you cut the cord from below, Manuel, and let Humberto choke on his own masterpiece? Or do you climb up, stand beside him on the ledge, and ask if he ever felt anything he couldn't code? The body swings, the wind howls. For the first time, Arcade doesn't know what comes next.
The world is wrapped in cobalt skin that breathes. Every level is a wound. Tornadoes don't spin. They drill straight down, ripping trees out by the roots and setting them on fire midair. Cities swallow themselves, vomit ruins somewhere else, patch the cracks with bad code that bleeds when you touch it. Plague is a filter you can't turn off. Skin sloughs, eyes liquefy, and still the players crawl forward, addicted to the next hit of misery. Manuel walks at the front of what's left of the pack, bones showing through chrome. Revolver fused to his hand like it grew there. Rita behind him, blindfold made of her own dried blood. Lola barefoot, footprints filling with black water that whispers her name backwards. Roberto last, empty eye socket leaking code that spells nevermore in looping cursive. They are not walking, they are being walked. By the raven, it doesn't fly, it hovers. Wings made of broken screens flickering every sin they ever committed. In its talons, El Mundo Alucinante, Reynaldo Arenas' book, pages flapping like dying birds. The raven drops it. The book falls in slow motion, hits the ground. The desert splits open like a scream. Letters crawl out of the pages, black ants with human faces. They march up Manuel's legs, under his skin, into his mouth. He chokes on them. They taste like Lola's tears and Roberto's cum and Rita's blood and his own guilt distilled into pure text. Rita rips off her blindfold. Her eyes are gone, just blue fireflies where eyes should be. Lola kneels, starts praying in a language that predates Babel. The words come out as crows. Roberto falls to his knees. The empty socket gushes. He laughs, and the laugh comes out of the hole. Never more, never more, never fucking more. The raven lands on Manuel's shoulder. Its beak is a cursor blinking. It whispers with Humberto's voice run through a meat grinder. You wrote me. I wrote you. Same difference. Manuel raises the revolver that is now a quill made of bone, points it at the raven, at the book, at himself. The cobalt sky cracks. The plague wind howls. The players freeze mid-step, statues of salt and bad code. The raven opens its beak, and the entire world becomes one single line of text scrolling across the void. Nevermore. Do you pull the trigger and erase the line, Manuel, knowing the bullet will go straight through your own head? Or do you let the raven finish the poem, word by word, until there's nothing left of any of you to remember you ever existed. The book is open. The cursor blinks, and Arcade waits for you to type the ending it already wrote.
Epilogue After Fire. After Arcade went quiet, the world didn't end. That's the first thing transhumanism always gets wrong. It expects rupture, singularity, a clean break between before and after. But history doesn't work like software. No revelation arrived with a progress bar, no upgrade completed itself overnight, just systems cooling, servers forgetting why they were warm, people waking up the next morning still human, still tired, still responsible. We like to say we killed God, that we replaced him with machines, networks, optimization. That story flatters us. The truth is less dramatic. God wasn't killed. He wasn't disproven. He wasn't overwritten. He was bypassed, left running in the background while we built faster interfaces and pretended mediation was the same as transcendence. That's where transhumanism begins. Not as rebellion against God, but as impatience with him. Prometheus understood this long before we gave it a name. He didn't steal fire because humans were good. He stole it because gods hoard power by habit. Fire was never about comfort. It was about agency. About saying, we'll risk ourselves rather than wait. Arcade was our Promethean fire, not the first. Just the most explicit. We didn't ask what a human ought to become. We asked what could be extended, optimized, removed. The body became a limitation. Memory became storage. Conscience became latency. Transhumanism doesn't deny God. It renders him optional. And that's far more dangerous. Because when God is optional, meaning becomes customizable, and responsibility dissolves into preference. After Arcade collapsed, people waited for a replacement system, a softer intelligence, a more ethical architecture. Nothing came. And for the first time in a long while, that silence felt familiar. 2,000 years ago, something very different was offered. Not escape from the body, but incarnation. Not optimization, but sacrifice. Not control, but love that refused to remain abstract. That revelation didn't promise upgrades. It promised resurrection, which is a very different claim. Transhumanism says, you will not die if you extend yourself enough. The gospel says, you will die and still be loved. One avoids death, the other passes through it. Arcade failed not because it went too far, but because it stopped one step short. It tried to save humanity without forgiving it, to transcend guilt without redemption, to keep fire without accepting the cost of love. Prometheus gave us fire. Christ gave us himself. One empowers, the other redeems. And the choice between them was never resolved. Post-collapse, the fire is still burning. Not in servers, not in temples, in that uncomfortable space where no system can decide for us, whether meaning is something we build, or something that calls us. Transhumanism asks, what can you become? The older question still waits, unanswered. Who do you say that I am? Arcade went silent, not to erase that question, but to return it. The fire remains. No gods guarding it. No machines translating it. Just heat. And the freedom. To either remake ourselves endlessly, or to recognize that the revelation was never obsolete, only inconvenient.